Be Marsh Boxing. I'm the world back at it with another boxing video. So the politics of boxing is gonna get in the way of one of the best fights that could be made in boxing. You know what I mean? I personally think, if you had asked me before Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, I'd have told you there's three best fights that could be made in boxing. The most enticing fights that'll have casuals and hardcores flocking around the TV or movie theaters, wherever they watch it, to pay attention to these particular fights. That's Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, Terrance Crawford versus Errol Spence. But like I said before, the Mike Errol Spence fight, I feel the fight has lost a little luster. You know what I mean? That was Mikey Garcia and Lomachenko. I'd still like to see it, but it's still, actually it should happen still, because both of them still have one loss. But at the end of the day, I feel like Barbarian, that fight has lost its value just a little bit. You know what I mean? It's up to Mikey Garcia to maybe work his way back into, trying to get back in position to be recognized as one of the best pound for pound fighters and the guy who could challenge Lomachenko. You know what I mean? But politics gonna stop this fight with Terrence Crawford and Al Heyman and Leonard Ellaby. He was basically laughing at the tweet that the man, what's his name, had written. Um, Bob Arum had written basically written on Twitter talking about they ready to make the fight if not if when Terrence Crawford gets to Amir Khan, they're gonna be calling Al Heyman immediately. It basically said like Al, pick up the phone. So Leonard Ellaby, CEO of Mayweather Promotions, was basically laughing at that tweet, you know what I mean? Because he's basically keeping it in perspective, and you say, yo, it's a business, you know what I mean? And PBC is basically trying to build the man Errol Spence, you know what I mean? And they're not trying to give the man Terrence Crawford no shine, you know what I mean? And really and truly, hey, it's not it's this is not a charity, you know what I mean? I like both fighters, you know what I'm saying? I'm personally, if I had to pick the fight, you know, I'm conflicted. You know what I mean? I want to see Bud Crawford in there with a big, strong welterweight, not named Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? So I could really gauge where he's at in the welterweight division. Yes, he beat Jeff Horn, but I personally didn't even really rate Jeff Horn that high. I didn't even think he beat Pacquiao. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So Terrence Crawford is 34 and 0, 25 KOs, pretty nice glossy record. You know what I'm saying? But Leonard Ellaby is talking about that they really trying to build the man Errol Spence over there on PBC, and they're not gonna give the man Terrence Crawford no shine. You know what I'm saying? Spence got plenty of options. Whether it's Keith Thurman, who's ducking him, Sean Porter, who's acting like he wants to fight. We'll see if that fight gets made. There's Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia got a fight coming up with Adrian Granados. Whoever wins that fight more than likely will be put themselves in position to challenge sooner than later for a world title. And we can't forget there's guys like Manny Pacquiao over there. And there's still plenty of lower tier welterweights, you know what I mean? Basically, I'd say probably, I don't want to call them C class fighters, but you have the guys like Berto over there, Ortiz, Devin Alexander. You could put Adrian Granados in that mix. I don't know where exactly Louis Collazo is these days. I don't know if he's still an Al Heyman fighter because I've seen him fighting Samuel Vargas on ESPN Top Ranks card. You know what I mean? But really and truly, the man Terrence Crawford, man, he's like a four-wheel drive, beautiful, nice vehicle, big Range Rover, stuck in mud that can't get up out the mud. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They're basically, you know, you ain't got no opponents over there on the top rank side, and it's a damn shame because that ain't gonna change. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna change. It's not like the PBC fighters gonna come over there and lend a helping hand to Bud Crawford to boost or raise his popularity. You know what I'm saying? I like Bud Crawford, but really and truly, I'm not even pressed to watch this fight versus Amir Khan. I'll watch it, for entertainment, you know. But it's not the type of fight that I can't wait for. The type of fights where you get up Saturday morning and you take care of what you gotta do for the day, because it's nighttime, prime time, you're gonna be watching this fight that you've been anticipating. You know what I mean? Um, but Terrence Crawford, man, it's a damn shame. You know, he can only get the likes of Jesse Benavidez, Jeff Horn, and Amir Khan. You know what I mean? You can't really compare those with the guys they have over there on on the PBC side. You know what I mean? Whether those guys are better or Terrence Crawford is better, we need to find out. The fights need to be made. That's why people fight. You know what I mean? Um, the man. I'll read you some quotes from this man Leonard Ellaby when he's talking about basically Terrence Crawford in this fight with Amir Khan and his position over there on ESPN. He says, "quote It should be good for Terrence. I think he wins in comfortable fashion." Um, End quote. So he feels, of course, that the man's gonna beat the man Amir Khan. I don't know anybody who's picking Amir Khan to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? Really and truly, I don't. There's another ass channel out there that used to call Amir Khan the greatest, TBE, call him the greatest of all time, the GOAT. I wonder where he's at. I don't listen to that channel. I just remember this dude was claiming that Amir Khan was the GOAT, and this was after Amir Khan had plenty of losses. You know what I mean? Fellas in the chat, one of them one's media. What's going on, fam? He's in the chat. He says, B Marsh Boxer, what's up, brother? What's happening with you, dogs? All is good, man. P Money, what's happening, P Money? How you feeling, man? P Money was had that Killer Cam joint. Killer Cam, that shit is hard, man. Classic joint. What's the name of that Killer Cam album before that? That's the one I really liked. Um, Come Home with Me. Yeah, the Come Home with Me album. You see that Purple Haze album? I had that. I had like most of that album. That album got released mad late. You know what I mean? I had most of them songs on mixtapes from back in the day. So when the album came out, I'd heard almost all of them, but I was happy it finally came out. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, those were good times in life. 2004, man. 2004. If I could tell you, I could write a movie about shit that was going on. But anyways, let me get back to boxing. Um, P Money says, "I hope it happens next. I've I've leaned towards Spence for a while now. Crawford isn't getting younger, but will it happen next? It's hard to see right now. Too much pointing towards it not happening. Yeah, I agree with you, man. All I can say is don't hold your breath. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold your breath for none of these fights, man. All you're gonna do is stress yourself and get older and gray, worrying about fellas fighting, making millions of dollars while we working every day trying to make a living. These fellas sitting on lots of cash, but they ain't trying to fight each other. P Money said, "What's up to one of them ones?" You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So let me read some quotes for what the man Ellaby had to say about Bob Arum and that tweet he put out. Quote, "I don't have a reaction. What does that mean?" Uh, that's a long one. Okay, let me read this joint. Quote, Errol Spence has business to take care of him right now, to take care of him right there in front of him. Do I have to name guys right there in his house and his table that he can make a fight, that he doesn't need to make a call and argue with there? We all know the problems they meaning Top Rank. We all know the problems they have. I'm not going to call it a problem that I have or Al has. That's their problem. Top Rank can't deliver a fight for Terrence Crawford over Sil Lomachenko. That's what it is, period, point blank. So all this masquerading around saying I'm going to do this or that, That's just Barbarian doing Bob, and it's okay. He's a good promoter, and he's made a great living and built a great company doing those kind of things. That shit is old, prehistoric stuff. The ranting and raving don't mean nothing in 2019. Nobody's even listening other than the 10 or 12 people in front of them. The fighters have a voice, a platform, and they're very, very, very intelligent. You can't even trick the public anymore with any of their nonsense. He knows that Crawford Spence fight isn't getting ready to happen soon. Errol Spence has a plethora of options right in front of him, one by one. Now this guy Leonard Ellaby, you would wonder why he's talking so much, acting like he's a promoter, but really and truly, um, Mayweather Promotions has promoted Errol Spence some fights of his. You know what I mean? I think they promoted the last fight, matter of fact, with Spence and Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So overall, it's not gonna. It doesn't look like this fight will be happening anytime soon. You know what I mean, I think the model for PBC, they want the man Errol Spence, if he does clean out the welterweight division over there on PBC, that's unifying at least three belts. How many does he has? He has only one. So if he can beat the winner of, if Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman fight, if he can get the winner of that fight, and he unifies with Sean Porter, that'll be basically cleaning out the PBC side. You know what I mean? That's when probably they're gonna try to make a fight with the man Terrance Crawford. You know what I mean? And Terrance Crawford, they're not gonna have that fight over there on ESPN. Nah, unless Terrence Crawford somehow, some way, miraculously boosts his profile and his stock goes up within the next 12 months drastically. You know what I mean? Where he becomes like he's doing like great numbers on pay per view. I'm talking about even 300-400K. You know what I'm saying? I doubt this fight with Amir Khan going to even do 200K. It might do 100K just off of name value off Amir Khan. British fighters, maybe I said British fighters, British fans, maybe Pakistani fans, or the Muslim community that do look up to Amir Khan. You know what I mean? There is some fight people out there who do think Amir Khan's a good fighter, and they're gonna support their Muslim brother the whole way. You know what I'm saying? That might garner a few pay-per-view buys, but overall, man, Terrence Crawford is in no man's land. You know what I mean? And no man is an island. But Terrence Crawford is an island all by himself over there on Top Rank ESPN, and it's a damn shame. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he signed back with them fighters over there. You know what I mean? Now to play devil's advocate, somebody could say, "Yo, the man Terrence Crawford went over there because he ain't want no smoke with where the best welterweights in the world are." Some could say that. I personally don't know any reason why he did resign with Top Rank and Bob Arum. I have no clue, you know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao got the fuck up out of Dodge. He got up out of there. Barbarian even said he ain't give the man Terrence Crawford the Manny Pacquiao fight, you know what I'm saying? Because it would have ended bad for the man Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean? So Terrence Crawford couldn't even get Manny Pacquiao when he was on that side of the street. And believe you me, if Terrence Crawford had gotten his hands on Manny Pacquiao circa 2016, around when he fought Jeff Horn and he beat him, he'd be more of a household name right now than Errol Spence, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, that ship has sailed. Manny Pacquiao's on the PBC side. Good for him. That's where the best welterweights in the planet are, and hopefully he can get the best fights. Guys like Tim Bradley, he didn't. He resigned with Top Rank too. You know what I'm saying? And just had the same fights over and over. Three fights with Pacquiao, a fight with Marquez. Those like the only classic Hall of Famers that he got over there that he fought. Besides that, who did he fight? The Jesse Vargases of the world, Diego Chavez, Brandon Rios, Ruslan Provoknikov, classic fight, by the way. So there's not really much action going on Top Rank ESPN. And from a business model, that's why Errol Spence even said it himself. Why would I go over there fight when I got the easier fights over here? Some will say easier fights, you know, basically trying to say that the fights are easier with Thurman and Porter and the likes of those guys. Well, he could be meaning to say these are easier fights to make because they're all under the same banner. PBC have the same manager advisor, Al Heyman. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for the man Terrance Crawford, and it's a damn shame. You know what I mean? This fight is pay per view in the UK versus Amir Khan on BT Sport, and pay per view in the USA on the ESPN Top Rank pay per view. How many people gonna stay up till 5 in the morning to for pay per view to watch the man Bud Crawford versus Amir Khan? I'm sure there'll be some people gonna pay for it. They're gonna wake up early, watch boxing in the AMs. But again, uh, is the man Terrence Crawford gonna have all eyes on him? Not necessarily. Not at 5 in the morning. And even here in the states, I don't know nobody who's willing to pay. What is it? $70, 69.99, or is it 59.99? Who willing to pay for the pay per view? You know what I mean? I don't know why Bob Arum has been rushing to put Terrence Crawford on pay per view. Yet he hasn't even put the man Lomachenko on ESPN on pay per view at all. You know what I'm saying? There's something fishy about that. You know what I mean? Something very fishy about that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel bad for the man Terrence Crawford. All Terrence Crawford could do is fight the fighters in front of him. All he can do right now is beat him in great fashion. I personally think in order to boost Terrence Crawford's profile, hard body, they had to put this fight with Amir Khan on ESPN. Nothing more, nothing less. For the whole country to watch. It's going to be competing that same night with Brandon Rios. I said Brandon Rios, sorry. Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados. That's on Showtime. Showtime's not free, by the way. Neither is ESPN. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for both channels if you want them on your cable box. But at the end of the day, that's a better platform for both to be competing against each other. And I guarantee you, in that if they did it like that, Amir Khan versus Terrence Crawford would beat Danny Garcia versus Granados on ratings. You know what I mean? But we shall see. Let me see what they're saying in the chat. Um, One of them ones says what up to P Money. P Money says to one of them ones media the same. My brother, I have a 3 day weekend. Thanks to good to Good Friday and Easter. I'll enjoy. Yeah, it is Easter weekend, man. It's Good Friday today, no doubt. P Money says even Pac went to PBC, so Crawford really is limited on options. I was hearing Kell Brook wants work if he beats Khan. That's not a bad fight, and if he can get a champ, Brook is a good opponent. Yeah, man. Actually, I heard about that too. You know, Kell Brook. I actually want to watch this interview with Kell Brook with Michelle J. Phelps right when I finish doing this live stream. You know, Kell Brook is a big welterweight who gave guys like he gave Errol Spence some issues. Like I always say, Spence stopped the man uh, in the 10th round. After 9 rounds, I had it 5-4 in favor of Errol Spence. So that was a close fight before the stoppage. You know what I mean? That was a close fight. He gave Spence some issues in at least 4 rounds. I'm sorry, Kell Brook was giving Gennady Golovkin work until he got stopped in the 5th round. You know what I mean? So he's a big welterweight. Can he get down to 147? I bet you he will for Terrence Crawford. Will be in his it will he be in his optimal shape as far as not weight drained? That I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He'll get down there for the money. Will he be as strong at 147? He's basically a tweener. He's in no man's land his damn self. You know what I mean? You know, too big to make 147 and he's too small for 154. He'll be killed by most of them top tier 154 pounders. You know what I'm saying? I can't see him beating none of them. You know what I mean? Can't beat Lara, can't beat Hurd. He could probably beat Jamel Charlo, probably, you know what I'm saying? Because Jamel Charlo can't box like people think he can. Um, Julian J. Rock Williams, that's a hard fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's Kell Brook is in between, so him coming back to 147, hey, man, I'm not mad at that one bit, you know what I'm saying? Because that'll be a good test for Terrence Crawford, you know? What's his name? Jeff Horn was a big, strong welterweight his damn self, you know what I mean? But Kell Brook is a guy who hits harder too, you know what I mean? Um, and he's, in my opinion, Kell Brook was a better fighter than the man Jeff Horn ever was, you know what I'm saying? So I'd love to see that fight. Excuse me, I'd love to see that fight too, you know what I mean? Kell Brook hasn't been in a significant fight since I'm sorry, that Errol Spence loss. And those rumors been flirting around, you know what I mean? So Kell Brook needs to make himself significant, put himself out there. Hopefully he will be on the undercard of June 1st, not Big Baby Miller, because he ain't fighting. Anthony Joshua versus TBA to be announced. Woodstar TV was good. Wood from the 410. What's happening, big man? Woodstar TV says Leonard Ellerby said Spence versus Crawford not happening. Yep. Yeah, man. He said it's. He said it's. He said it's not happening no time soon. You know what I mean? And I personally don't think it's going to be happening, if ever, unless I remember back in the day when Don King and Barbam got together to make De La Hoya versus Tito Trinidad. Tito Trinidad was a Showtime fighter, as all Don King fighters were. These guys, they got together to make fights, and that was an epic fight. It's a classic welterweight fight. And that's what we need right now in this day and age, you know what I mean? We've had a couple like Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman. That was a classic fight. Manny Pacquiao hasn't been in a classic fight in the welterweight division since, man, since probably the Marquez fight, you know what I mean? Really and truly, the Mayweather fight, it's a good fight, but I wouldn't call it classic because it's not that competitive. You know what I mean? So we need a classic welterweight fight in our hands, and the politics of the game is shutting that down. Shizbiz, what's happening, Shizbiz? He's in the chat. So man, Leonard Ellerby, man, we shall see, man. We shall see if his word comes to fruition, if the fight is gonna happen or at all, if it's gonna happen. I personally don't see it happening no time soon. You know what I mean? At least for the foreseeable future of 2019, maybe 2020, maybe the end of 2020, maybe at that point in time, Errol Spence, if he does clean up the welterweight division, you know what I mean? And Terrance Crawford, he gotta do something his damn self too. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford should really tell Bob Bam, man, fuck the bullshit, man. I'm trying to go over there and fight a PBC on Fox or pay per view. You know what I'm saying? That's free TV. And if I win, I'm gonna bring back all the belts over here to ESPN straight up. And if anybody wanna fight me, they gonna have to cross the street, come to PBC if they want to sniff any of these belts. That's exactly what he should do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck what channel these fights are on. I know there's some fans on YouTube. I've never met them in life personally, but they be fans on YouTube who are fans of promoters more than they are fighters. You know what I mean? Now maybe those guys who are fans of promoters, networks, and TV channels, they don't want their favorite fighter to cross over the street to go and fight so and so. You know what I mean? Now some may say, "Oh, that why didn't Deontay Wilder go over there to the zone to fight to get that what is it 4 fight deal for what is it 120 million? You know what I'm saying? Well, personally, maybe the numbers were not right. You know what I mean? And the zone is an app. I seen Angel Garcia clowning that app a couple of days ago. When was it? Yesterday, talking about, man, don't nobody want to be watching no fight on the app. I ain't watching no fight on my phone. I want to watch it on my TV, and I agree with him. And a fight of that magnitude, you can't be having that shit on no app, man. Sorry, man, you can't be having that shit on no app, on no DAZN app. Heavyweight championship of the world. When Muhammad Ali and them used to fight in front of 60, 70 million on terrestrial TV. Mike Tyson doing millions of pay-per-views, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to watch that fight on the app, you know what I mean? So that's the conflict. It's not the matter of because I don't like the commentary or or No, it's just the fact that that fight is on the app, man. I want that fight to be watched by millions. You know what I'm saying? Millions across the United States and across the globe. You know what I'm saying? So Terrance Crawford, he needs to do. He gotta do something. You know what I mean? Because if Leonard Ellaby is saying all this and PBC is not in no rush to make the man Terrence Crawford a household name, especially by him beating they welterweight. So it's not gonna happen no time soon, you know what I mean? So big up to Shiz Biz, Woodstar TV, P Money, one of them ones media. Thanks for coming through. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these um, statements from the man Bob Arum, Leonard Ellaby. And actually, let me know in the comment section if you think this fight is going to happen anytime soon. And before you leave out the room, please hit that thumbs up. Be Marsh Boxing.